what is your designation at Robert Bosch currently now?
Yeah, I am working as a development engineer, research and development engineer for DNOx supply model, which is like a device which is going to reduce the emission from the diesel vehicles. So I'm a development engineer there, R&D. Imagine if I finish my bachelor's level somewhere here in India and the master's continue from here in India, but the bachelor level in Czech Republic somehow ending here. So I have to, and their master starts over here. So I have to climb this distance to come equal to their knowledge. That was one of the biggest challenge. We have an exam for one sheet and rest all are viva, and they would ask like a real life problem and the futures. It's not about the past history and past books. It's all about real life situation. Okay, if something happens on the road, what would the vehicle, how can we run this vehicle without any issues? I had to do the internship with my professor because he took me to different universities to get more experience and exploring. That was really.
What all universities did you go?
I also went to Technical University of Ostrava.
Okay.
And then also there is a research faculty in the same Czech Technical University in Prague at different location, which is outside Prague. So these were the two areas where he took me, and also then together with the Charles University, which is also for medical, because we also took a part of in that where my professor took me there just to see how this emission affects the human lungs. So it's more related to after treatment systems, if it works well or not. So these are the three universities I were in during my internship. Master education was really, as I mentioned, it was rough and tough in the beginning, and at the end it was, as I said, after those pains and rough time which I've encountered all these 2 years, has a big gain behind, and that's the one which set a base. And also the level of thinking was really has been improved, I would say. When I landed in Czech Republic, completely it was different because it's the first time I'm out of the home country. So it was a big, let's say, cultural shock, thermal shocks. Of course, there are a lot of effects, but for sure, it's a new experience. Yeah, because we were so far in the comfort zone. Now it's out of the comfort zone to experience new things.
Hello, everybody. Welcome all of you. My name is Shivaraman, Director of Europe Study Center. You all would be watching our YouTube channel. We are making plenty of interviews. This is not to, glorify about Europe Study Center. This is just to motivate youngsters. What are all the options and possibilities available in the continuation of the same objective? Today, we have our student, Alden, who studied in Czech Republic, currently working in Czech Republic. Alden, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, sir, for interviewing me.
We should be the one thanking you, by the way. So, Alden, please introduce yourself to our audience.
Okay. Hello, everybody. So I am Alden, who studied bachelor's in India, basically in Chennai, in SRM University, Valliyamma Engineering College. And once finishing my bachelor's, then I came to do my master's in Czech Technical University in Prague. And after finishing the master's, immediately I started working in Robert Bosch, and it's going to be 5 years in upcoming couple of months. Yeah.
Even though it's a very short introduction, it's a very successful journey, which I'm really happy to know that you're really progressing well in your career. So before we get to talk about Robert Bosch, tell us at what moment you decided you wanted to study masters.
Okay, actually, I started my bachelor's in 2012 and ended up in 2016 in under an university syllabus in SRM University. And in 2016, I was in a situation without knowing what to do in the next step. Yeah, because when I see the job markets, people are like, you will get less paid when you go here, or even you need reference to go inside some companies and so on in India. That was the situation over there. And then what came to my mind is I also was in part of the church music band, and from this, one of my friend recommended me to do masters because you have a good score in bachelor's. Why not to grow yourself with your opportunities and talents you have, and you could do masters. Yeah, then my mind was like, where do I do masters? Of course I could do the postgraduate in the same university where I studied bachelor's, or even when I was aiming for that, then there are a lot of people around you who will just come and say, even with bachelor's, I don't have work. How do you get work with masters? Yeah, it's like
This is a
overqualified and so on.
yeah, so Alden, this is a big problem in India, right? Even your neighbor has a big say in your career.
Yeah, exactly. That's all.
And
That's a myth.
if
Yeah.
yeah, Alden, if some uncle or auntie's son is really successful, okay, with all the due respect to them, and whatever they say, that is those parents, becomes mantra, and that son would have went 25 years before.
Absolutely. Exactly. Yeah, those were like kind of rumors. Yeah, whichever you get it. So completely, it's like still in a balance. Yeah, some optimistic approach we will try to take, and then some pessimistic minds would come around and just make us like demotivated. Yeah. But at one point, then I also checked again in YouTube's and so on, and also with your consultant. Also, I got some guidance. Yeah, what is the future about how the masters in abroad looks like, and so on. So I checked there, and then I found a lot of similar interviews and testimonies from people saying that they came here and they got a lot of experience and their thinking was wide enough, and they are in a good, successful situation at the moment when compared to when they were before, after their
Yeah,
bachelor's or other high school. Yeah. So that's
wonderful.
how that's how I shifted my mind to do
Your masters.
masters.
Okay, then
Exactly.
comes the Alden. Then comes the next important question. Even your own classmates in SRM would have been planning, applying for UK, US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, etc., etc.
Mhm.
Then how did you choose Europe, basically?
Yeah, basically, of course, not only the education, there is also finance behind, yeah, for every education and every step we go in. So my colleagues from my bachelor's went to US, and when I asked them how much did you spend for fees and so on, and then they say it's like 30 lakhs, and for the consultants I have to give 10 lakhs and so on, and it was roughly like 50 lakhs, yeah, approximately, with all the calculations with flight tickets, visa, and all those stuff. And then that was like out of my scope, out of my imagination during that time. Yeah.
Also Alden, you studied in the number one university in the country that you went. Okay,
Mhm.
this 50 lakhs you specified in the US, it's not for the top universities in the US. Somewhere mediocre.
Yeah, it might be, yeah, because I did not check in detail about the
Yeah,
universities.
that's what I'm trying to say. Because the premier universities, they cost a lot. Hmm.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so basically, for the quality and the cost, you decided to study in Europe. So, how did you find us? How did you find Europe Study Center?
Yeah, I was checking how to go abroad basically to do masters. Yeah, then you see all the consultancies and the websites, yeah, which comes, go to Europe Study Center or go to some other consultants. Yeah, it's already 8 years, so I really don't remember
No
much of the
problem.
other
No problem.
consultancies.
No
So
problem. Anyway,
yeah,
by the way, most of them they are not there in the market right now. That's a difference. Please,
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, so then I found Europe Study Center during 2016-17, during the time when I was almost finishing my bachelor's and stepping to my master's. Yeah, so so first I approached you also, and also your team. I think it was during the time
So
Miss
you met me
Anandi and
also,
Miss
brother.
Priya.
You met me also.
Yeah,
Me also.
I of course I met you, and I think during that time it was Miss Anandi and Miss Priya also
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, so during that time, but I was there for a couple of visits, and then of course you also helped me to apply for some German universities, and
We
also
apply
in
for Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. Alden, even in the year of 2025, it's just the same process. You
yeah,
cannot
yeah,
just sit and apply for one or two and pray God. No, it doesn't work that way. You apply for
e- e- e-
plenty, then you will get
absolutely,
the approvals.
yeah,
So, did you visit?
exactly.
Did you visit other companies also, or you just visited us only?
I checked basically everything through online, and then only I consulted your service. There was other center which was somewhere in New Delhi, and I approached them a couple of times in online. But
Nothing
yeah,
worked
they
out.
always ask, okay, pay first, and then we will tell more. But you are in online, and how do I believe that you exist there or
So,
no?
also Alden, they should have the knowledge, they should have the competence, and they should have the connect for to get us through all these things, basically. So then,
Yeah.
you applied for what all countries? Germany, Czech Republic,
Yeah,
then
Germany, Czech Republic, and in Italy. Yeah,
Italy. Okay.
Italy. And
So
also there
then,
were other universities also which was proposed by your team, like Sweden and so on. Because I was very much interested to do my masters in automotive engineering, being a doing done bachelor's in mechanical engineering. So I want to specify in a field. So I asked for universities which is going to give me such courses. Yeah.
yeah, before we talk about Czech, I just wanted to ask, in your class, okay, I'm sure right now, at least 90% of them would have exited mechanical engineering and moved to IT.
Absolutely.
Observe- so, so tell me, Alden, why, what made you, so you were so passionate about mechanicals and automobiles, so you don't want to change domains?
Yeah, the first thing is I
Super,
hate computers, to be very honest.
super.
Even from my childhood, that's the reason I chose mechanical engineering. And I was very happy when doing the 4 years of mechanical in bachelor's in India, and
Super.
where I use rarely computers, yeah, just for my thesis and maybe for some of the laboratory works where I used computers. Yeah,
It's a tool. It's a tool.
exactly,
A tool.
exactly.
But see, I have all equal respect for all courses, whether it's psychology or microbiology. I love all courses because
Mm-hmm.
every course has a meaning. Every course has a purpose. Okay,
Correct.
you cannot glorify one course and you cannot suppress the other courses. And Alden,
Absolutely correct.
when I visit all these colleges for the presentations and all those things, so sad to see my department, your department, I studied Tripoli, you studied mechanical, all are closed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely
All are
right.
closed, Alden. Everybody's studying only artificial intelligence, data science, data analytics, machine learning, cyber security. And these people are, laughing at other departments. They are smaller in number. They are like, why on earth are you studying biomedical engineering? Why on earth are you studying biotechnology? But I'm not telling these courses are wrong or anything, but all courses have equal importance, basically. So this is
Correct.
the idea of talking about this topic right now in this interview is to explain the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Same like Alden, study what you like. If you study only data science, you study that, no problem. But if you study mechanical or if you like biotechnology, please study that. That is what I was about to say. So
Yeah,
once you got a
exactly.
call from, once you see, you need to follow your passion, Alden.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot
Correct.
push yourself. Even today, when I was telling my son to study a chapter in science, he was making all the fussy noises. I told him, if you like, you study, or else throw the book, go and play. There is no point in cribbing and doing it. Same like pushing ourselves on a Monday morning to work. It
Yeah,
doesn't work. It doesn't
exactly.
work. For example, people ask me, today on a Sunday, we are doing this interview, and I do all webinars on Sunday. So literally 7 days, I am only into abroad education because the passion. You like what you're trying to do, then you don't look at the watch. Yeah. So for that,
Correct.
you need to follow your passion and interest, not pick up something because of other people are doing it, etc.,
Yeah,
etc. So then,
exactly.
the moment you got your CTU offer letter for the master program in automobile engineering, right?
Yeah, automotive engineering. Correct.
Automotive engineering. So how happy you were at that moment?
Yeah, in the beginning, when I got the invitation, I was really happy, but still my mind was always in Germany. Yeah, because
German.
I was because I know about the German automobiles like Mercedes, Audi, and Volkswagen, and so on. They're the top. So I was like, okay, that should be our focus to go to Germany. But then later I found, yeah, in the map you could see Czech Republic's not that far from Germany. It's just a neighboring country to Germany. So,
On top of it, Alden, we will never ever promote something which is not going to be beneficial end of the day. Like 1 year degree in UK, medicine abroad, PG diploma abroad, a strict no in all my 4-5 offices.
mhm.
That's how it is. And even last week I got a call, Alden, when you said my mind was only his call was, sir, my name is so and so. I studied here. This is my mark. Can you guarantee me an offer letter in Technical University of Munich for this particular program? Then I will visit your office, start the process. I said, thanks for your call. Don't visit my office. Because they think I'm the one signing the offer letter. No, I'm only a facilitator. Then
Yeah.
some parents also used to say, I will say this in Tamil, it will connect more. Sir, fine. They say, Tammi nee poi velila ukar. Oh, okay. Then they say, sir, பையனுக்கு தெரிய வேண்டாம், எவ்வளோ செலவானாலும் பரவாயில்ல, அந்த தம்பி கேட்குற அந்த ஜெர்மன் பப்ளிக் யூனிவர்சிட்டியிலே அவனை பிளேஸ் பண்ணிடுங்க, மார்க்கை பற்றிலாம் நீங்கள் யோசிக்க வேண்டாம், நம்ம பணம் கட்ட ரெடியாக இருக்கோம். ஐயோ, I don't know, like, how to explain these people. Not everybody, most of them.
Yeah.
So
Understood.
then
It's because of lack of knowledge behind it. Yeah,
awareness,
exactly.
basically. See, I don't blame anybody here. This interview
Yeah.
is all about purpose, is positivity, spread information, create awareness. So then
Correct.
you landed in Czech Republic. So how was the
Correct.
first semester at CTU?
Yeah, actually, with Czech Republic, I landed somewhere 1 month with a delay in the program because of the reason of the visa and processing. Yeah,
Visa, yeah.
because it's the biggest challenge for sure. And when I landed in Czech Republic, completely it was different because it's the first time I'm out of a home country. So it was a big, let's say, culture shock, thermal shocks. Of course, there are a lot of effects, but for sure, it's a new experience. Yeah, because we were so far in the comfort zone. Now it's out of the comfort zone to experience new things.
Once again, audience, this is what I wanted to say. Get slightly uncomfortable to be more comfortable in the future. You want to be always comfortable, it only takes us to a uncomfortable zone. So how was your first semester?
Yeah, the
At
first
CTU?
semester, yeah, actually, I would better say when I compare the master's level in Czech Republic and in India, it's somehow, of course, I don't have any words to say, explain it. Imagine if I finish my bachelor's level somewhere here in India and the master's continue from here in India, but the bachelor level in Czech Republic somehow ending here. So I have to, and their master starts over here. So I have to climb this distance to come equal to their knowledge. That was one of the biggest challenge. That's what I say. It's out of the comfort zone. Yeah.
Exactly. I went through the same. I also studied in SRM, then went to Sweden for my master. So I clearly get what you're trying to say, brother. It's a
Yeah.
it's a wholly, it's a completely different game. This is why, audience, I say, please plan at UG level itself. In fact, Alden, to study bachelor's in Chennai is expensive compared to studying in Europe. Strange to believe, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So how did you manage the shift of you going above power and planning all these things? How did the first semester go?
The first semester was a little bit, I would say, rough and hard, to be honest. Yeah, it is because leaving family, leaving the home country, leaving home food, coming here, and then you sit in a class and the teachers are explaining, but you don't get anything because you are not still up to that knowledge level. So, but what one good thing I made is I made notes, whatever they teach, and then try to come and refer outside because they are not going to teach me from where I left. They are going
Yeah.
to go in the pace where they are taught or out for or planned for the semesters. So for this, of course, the rough and tough season when you sit in the class, but then of course I took additional time going to library, referring books, videos, YouTubes, a lot of learning channels to gain up knowledge. Yeah, so almost the first semester was like it was thinking to be useless in the class, but the notes was really helpful, I would really say. Even if I didn't understand it, I made the notes, but which was really helpful for going to the semester exams. Yeah, so basically extra efforts which were really needed to cover this gap between the level of bachelor's in-house and outside. Yeah.
Exactly, Alden. Only when we learn 1, 2, 3 in the bachelor's, we can do addition, subtraction in masters. For the audience to
Correct.
understand very clearly, I studied masters there, so I clearly get what you're trying to say. But for everybody to understand this, but without knowing the numbering system, how can anyone do an addition or a subtraction? That is what is the short synopsis of what our friend Alden had explained. So in the second semester, Alden, so you got a kind of grip on the subjects, the schematics, everything?
Yeah, exactly. Because when you want to go to the second semester, you need to clear certain subjects to get into the second semester. So for this, already I had cleared many of the subjects, so it was easy for me to switch into second semester. And then your brain is always there because you know how the syllabus is and how it is proceeding further. So now you know the route map where it is going and you are able to manage it. Of course, I wouldn't say it was 100% you are sure where you are, but still there is a learning. Of course, it's a complete learning process.
Yes, yes, yes. And that is the whole objective of going abroad for studies, right? we go through all these hardships, we struggle, we toil hard in the library and laboratory, not in the restaurant. You understand my point, Alden?
Correct. Yes, absolutely.
People say, I'm struggling. Struggling for what? Alden spent his time researching, studying, going into YouTube, doing everything and developing his skill set rather than doing other stuff. That's why only at ESC we say, we request students literally, please focus on your studies. Don't do part-time. For heaven's
Yes.
sake, please, please. And nobody will have the spine, Alden, other companies to say to an youngster, don't do part-time job. Focus on your studies. Because it's the biggest marketing tool, right? You will get PR,
Exactly.
you will get citizenship, you will get part-time job, and you are going to earn millions thousands and thousands of euros during part-time job. Even in the digital era, to believe all these nonsenses, seriously, I don't know what
Yeah.
to say. Imagine, Alden,
Exactly.
you also have to do a part-time job during your studies. It would have become impossible, almost.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Yeah, because even I can give an example from my friends who came to do masters here. Like in the first semester, we were 40 students. And in the second semester, we were 30, 10 students just gone somewhere. But then when we came to find where were they, and we found a couple of students went to different course because they think automotive engineering is very hard. And this is like an example or like a fear taught by the seniors, yeah, when they say it's very hard to clear these exams and so on. And
Exactly.
remaining students, they went to some part-time like KFC, McDonald's or somewhere. And to be honest, I can confirm they are still over there because
Exactly.
they started there and their focus from education shifted to the um, money minded, or I don't know how to say, it's like financial, or they just want money, so let's go to this work. And they are still there. They are now thinking they are not able to come out from this KFC and McDonald's, which they did this mistake in the first second semesters when they came to education.
Exactly. This is always a problem. When I send hundreds and hundreds of students, there will always be some seniors, right? Oh, this is difficult. Why did you even come here? We are sitting here for many years, not able to get the degrees done. Then I get so many calls from few of them. I say, you want to believe those things, immediately come back. I am not going to sit and motivate you here. Okay. You believe in yourself, you stay there, fight it, win it. Nobody makes it big without a battle.
Yeah,
Yes,
correct, absolutely.
that is, and also, Alden, when these people don't sit and study or they lose the path, you know whom they will blame?
Who send us here? They will blame the people.
They will blame us, they will blame Europe, they will blame the professors, they will blame the country. The blame game starts. And the parents also
Yeah.
will follow. My son went there, nothing was good. This guy only sold it. I said, I don't care. See, you can keep talking, you can keep blaming endlessly about others. Actually, for us, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Classic example, young aspirants, brother, because school going children are watching this. Our Alden, what he's trying to say here is, it will be challenging to study. Focus, spend time, toil hard, you will master this. Not a big
Correct.
deal. That is what he is trying to say. Then I would like to talk about how supportive the professors were.
During the education system, I would say the professors, during the class, they teach it. And if you have some questions, you can raise your hand. They will finish some statements and then they will answer you immediately. Or if the question is so huge, or if you are not able to understand, you could approach them via email. Yeah, this is also possible. And you could also get an appointment with them because they are pretty much busy. They're not
Yeah,
only teaching us, they are also teaching different students from different departments and so on. So they're bit busy, I would say. Yeah, this is something which is different from where I saw in bachelor's and masters. In bachelor's,
yeah,
you just take a note and you can go to the professor and they can tell you
yeah.
at any
They
time. But
also come with us the 6 o'clock along with us in the bus and go back home along with us in the same bus. It doesn't work that way here.
yeah, correct.
These
Here,
professors are industry connected, they are well equipped, and they are constantly learning.
yeah, absolutely. I agree. Also, my professor, one who was very close with me, was also in part of under the European Union, where he was also much focusing on the European emissions, pollution related, and so on. So he was very much busy with a lot of meetings with politicians and also with the
Wow,
legislations and so on. So, but
super,
it's
right?
very challenging to get time to get some questions with him. but he will try to find some time. And if not, even my project was very close with him, so he was very helpful that he even gave his personal contact that I can reach him at any time. But not all
So,
professors provide that. Yeah, that's for sure.
so sweet, right? So nice. We come from a different country, but still they assist and help us so much. When I listen to stories like this, Alden, this is my 16th year in sending students to these European countries, Schengen countries. And when I listen to these things, it gives me the fuel for the next 16 years. This is
Yeah,
what,
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
for my
the
past,
simple
yeah,
thing. The simple thing I would say is, uh, how you behave with the professor, you will get the returns. Yeah, it's like there is a statement: what you sow you reap. So how you will show the behavior and how you behave with the professors, they really will react in the same way as we do it. So that's what I really learned from this, because there are people who really even complained about other professors. Even there were some professors who were like not that friendly with us for sure, but it's because they did not get any other exposure like us. For example, they were just born in Czech Republic, they studied in Czech Republic, and they only knew about Czech Republic. But there are some other professors who got international experience, and their behavior is way different from the who are the professors, let's say, kind of conservative. So in that opinion, I would say it's all dependent on individuals, like as individuals, as you mentioned before, right? Don't listen the seniors, because everybody have different level of understanding, different thinking. So if you say, if the seniors say it's hard, don't come, and if you just believe on them, then we are going to be in a failure area,
lose it.
because
Exactly.
it's up to us that we choose this. Then we can crack it at any point of time. Maybe it's not immediate, it can take couple of weeks, months, whatever, and we can accomplish it. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. See, Alden, I'm not boosting this interview. Whatever you're trying to say, it's like a template, what to do and what not to do. And you're not
Mm,
just talking, you're just sharing what happened to your life. That's what makes
yeah,
this interview all the more valuable, you know.
correct.
Amazing. So, this is, I would like to also know this answer. Quite interesting to ask this question. So, which are all the topics when you studied automotive engineering? Which all topics really excited you during your studies?
Especially internal combustion engines and
Super.
advanced IC engines. Yeah. And this is really a very interesting topic for me, because I was very much passionate about thermodynamics and all with influence of heat on the engines, and also what its behaviors and so on. So main subjects which were passionate for me is internal combustion engine. But for sure, we learned internal combustion engines, the transmissions, and also the body of the vehicle, the material, the design of plastics overall, and the exhaust emissions. So basically, you started from the intake and you came through the whole vehicle. Yeah, this is what I learned in the 2 years.
Super. Amazing. So, I'm sure by end of the second year, your interest would have at least become 3 to 4 times or even higher, correct? Compared to what you had at the UG level.
Absolutely. After finishing UG level, I hadn't really no idea what it is, what I learned. I learned like a big C, but I can remember basics, but where to apply, that was very hard for me during the completion of my bachelor's. Yeah.
Especially, brother, that is why core engineering, whenever people do their bachelor's in India, whether they are placed, not placed, high mark, low mark, I said, forget it. Please do one more step. That is when you finish the complete cycle,
Mm,
especially in European countries, so that you are able to uh, learn more, basically. So then,
right.
also I would like to ask Alden. People say world is moving towards electric vehicles, electric systems, but I feel electric vehicles has its own limitations, and I feel hydrogen is much more realistic. So, what is your opinion on that as a
Yeah,
automobile engineer?
that's really a very good question. Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
to be honest.
Even though I'm not in this field, I'm curious, when I talk to experts like you are working at Robert Bosch, we'll come to that later. But, for me also, it's curious to know these things from my students.
Yeah, exactly. As you rightly mentioned, with the electric, we are almost going towards electrification, but it doesn't mean that we are completely out of the gasoline and diesel engines. Yeah, they are also going to be there, but it's all concerned with the pollution, emissions, and all the local pollutions which are causing some health issues and so on. That's the reason all are promoting towards electrification, which means it's locally. zero emission, but globally it's also emitting, because when you want to develop a battery and so on, you are emitting globally. But with the cars and so on, there is a local emission on the cities and traffics. So that's why there was a invention of hybrid system, where that was partially electrific with running with electric motor and then with gasoline or diesel engines. But later it's going completely with electric, which they really think it's the future. But for sure, the infrastructures and so on are going to take years and ages. But from my point of view, I would say it's 50-50 still. Though there were several legislations from European Union saying by 2030 there should be no more production of engines and so on. But that's very hard, I would say, because when you see from the current European 7 legislation limit, because there is always some norms, how many amount of nitrogen oxides can be emitted, how many hydrocarbons can be emitted, and so on. So always every euro levels had strictness limits, and when you go latest, it's more stricter and stringent legislation limits.
Super.
But when we saw in the markets that even with the electric vehicles, it's very challenging to drive longer and so on with efficiency point of view. So
Okay.
in that case, what the legislation European 7 they brought is they relaxed a bit of limits of legislation to make sure still we can run with the gasoline and diesel engines. So for sure, there is development also in electric, development on also on hydrogen fuels, and also improving development to reduce the emission on the diesel and petrol engines. So
So
I would,
something
I
like
would
hybrid. Yeah.
exactly, from my point of view, I would say these are just opportunities and not that you can explore all opportunities. Rather, not to say, okay, the diesel and petrol world are going or dying. Yeah, because even with electric vehicles, and it's very hard to implement in all countries over the world. Yeah, it's very challenging because we need a source for the electric power to charge itself. So from my point of view, it's my perspective, as well as I also work with powertrain solutions. So I still we are still developing new projects for diesel vehicles. So I
Wonderful.
really believe it will be still there in the market. Yeah, it's
Hydrogen
just
also will have good. Hydrogen also will have good scope, right? Going forward, Alden.
absolutely, hydrogen fuel cells are going to also have a good future. Yeah, for sure. But
Super.
it's just, let's say, at the moment, imagine it's 100% on engines in the petrol and diesel. It's being splitted to, let's say, 33 percentage each to electric, hydrogen, and to engines.
Super. Good to have options.
Yeah,
Good to have
exactly.
options. Like we give it to the students when they come inside our office, basically. So then, when did you start applying for your job? How did you get into Robert Bosch? Enlighten us.
Yeah, that was a very good challenge. I finished my master's in February 2020. I got graduated in the winter
Super.
semester because I took one more semester, considering the fact that I had to do the internship with my professor because he took me to different universities to get more experience and exploring. That was really.
What all universities did you go?
I also went to Technical University of Ostrava,
Okay.
and then also there is a research faculty in the same Czech Technical University in Prague at different location, which is
Okay.
outside Prague. So these were the two areas where he took me, and also then together with the Charles University, which is also for medical, because we also took a part of in that where my professor took me there just to see how this emission affects the human lungs. So it's more related to after treatment systems, if it works well or not. So these are the three universities I were in during my internship. So that took me one more
Super.
semester. So when I finished in Feb 2020, it was a time when there was lockdown of COVID.
Lockdown. Okay. COVID.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I was like a batch where I was graduating and not able to even get out of my house.
Oh,
I
okay.
was not able to go home, not even to go get employment, because during the time the productions all were, let's say, closed because of lockdown. Yeah, because of the
Top. Yeah.
COVID. It was a big disaster for everywhere in the universe.
Everybody. 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 Yeah.
Exactly. So in that time, what happened is I finished my course in Feb 2020, but still I was having a contract with my professor to support him with other internships, or like to support the next juniors who are going to also do thesis under him, and also with other environmental projects which my professor was involved in. So I was in contracted with him, but still I wanted to get industrial exposure. So
Yeah.
to get like industrial experience. So I was applying for the universities even since Jan 2020, when before I was graduating. I was applying to
Applying for
different
jobs, you mean?
yeah, different companies, exactly, applying for
Okay.
jobs. And then uh, in March, I was called for an interview from Robert Bosch, but it's almost 2 hours drive from the city where I lived in Prague, because earlier I was in Prague and now I live in South Bohemia, which is called České Budějovice. It's to 150 kilometers roughly. And
Super.
the the thing is, I was not able to come for the interview because there was lockdown. Even you cannot travel between regions. Yeah, so that was also a challenge. Then they have to postpone my interview from March to April, and still April there was also still the wave was very heavy, that there were so many affected cases of COVID. So
Okay.
that's the fact that they conducted the interview in online itself finally. Yeah,
Okay.
and then in May, first I joined in Bosch in May 2020.
So when did you get the
uh,
email? When did you get the email that you are employed?
yeah, the interview was very funny, that I had 3 interviews in the same company, for development engineer, for testing engineer, and for system engineer. And for all these three, the interview was fine. And only I got selected for both, but almost came to know on the interview date itself that I'm selected in one because of the interviewer, who was very kind. And he was like,
So nice of
yeah, that
him.
was, yeah, yeah, that was, he was like, he almost told indirectly that I'm selected, but he did not mention that you are selected. Yeah. So even on the day of the interview, I'm pretty sure that I got one. But when I got an email within a week, I got two selected. Almost in a week,
Super.
I got it.
No,
Then I had a
see,
chance to choose.
yeah, super. See, from the moment of getting the offer letter or even finishing a bachelor's, going through all the hardships and avoiding all the other unwanted disturbances, part times, working hard, studying. Finally, when you get the email from Robert Bosch, how did you feel that moment? How did you, how was it for you?
Yeah, it was like, I would say it was emotional during that time. Yeah, because
I could
also,
feel it. Yeah.
yeah, it was also family from India. They were like, it's COVID, be safe. Yeah, they have to, they were also like trying to protect us. Of course, they cannot protect directly because we are in a distance of almost 8,000 miles away. But at least they were like in a phase saying that, okay, even if you get or no, be safe from all this viral infections, so on. But once I got the work, they were also really happy that even in this midst, it was by God's grace that you entered in. So then I just entered into the company, and it was just, I would say, full of emotions. And
Yeah.
you could see for every pain, there is a gain, right? There is a statement or proverb that say, no pain, no gain. So
Yeah.
basically, the 2 years of study with the thesis were completely a pain. And when you see this, it's a big gain. Yeah.
Yeah, some parents they come to our office, not some innocent parents or some students also. Sir, I want to finish something very short, something like 5 6 months, okay, and it should be very easy, and I want to learn a lot. Then I say watch some maybe some movie where everything changes in 5 minutes. Maybe you saw those things and came coming here. Please come to reality, boss. Come to reality, and that is where you said the right proverb: no pain, no gain. So, so it's like, what is your designation at Robert Bosch currently now?
Yeah, I am working as a development engineer, research and development engineer for DNOx supply model, which is like a, a device which is going to reduce the emission from the diesel vehicles. So
Super.
I'm a development engineer there, R&D. Yeah,
So the passion of your professor still runs into your working process flow. Emissions. You are also into
absolutely,
emissions. Super.
absolutely. Yeah,
He
because my
has.
professor. Yeah, sorry for interruption. Actually, my professor was in a phase where he was measuring the emission in the city and so on, and we want to reduce it somehow. And then that was the phase I was thinking, what is the one which is going to reduce these emissions? And that's the device which we develop here at the Bosch, at Robert Bosch. And this is going to inject AdBlue from the tank to the engine exhaust to reduce the harmful nitrogen oxide emissions. Yeah, for
Wow.
info, my thesis was also in measuring nitrogen oxide emission, the same gases which were coming. And now I'm almost working in the place which is reducing the
Wonderful.
emissions.
See, Alden, how much the professor's work, knowledge has inspired you into this, knowingly or unknowingly. From there,
Exactly.
yeah, brother, from there, even today, and also for the upcoming years. Emissions, emissions, emissions. Wonderful. Amazing. See, looking at the professors, we should be really inspired. And the hands should go automatically like this. But back home, in certain cases, when they look at some professors, the hand goes like this. This is the problem.
Yeah, to be honest,
And
I would like to also highlight about my professor. Like during one of the investigation which we did on one of the city center where we were measuring the emissions, and then he contacted the Czech national television, and they also documented us, and I was also there. I was like worthless at the moment, but he was really passionate, and he told, of course, maybe Czech language is hard for you to understand. I will tell everything, but you can just explain the experimental process. So I was
super.
explaining with hand sign, but he was explaining in Czech, and it's still undocumented. Maybe I can share the link later, which you can also
Sure, sure. I would love to. I would love to see. Amazing, right? Going to new country, exploring, getting on well with the professors, getting their respect, and getting their attention, and getting them to support us, and to travel with him, and then to apply for a job during the COVID, and that too with Robert Bosch, which anybody knows in this planet. Amazing, man. Really, really happy. And to understand, it started all from Czech Republic, which we kind of suggested you, and it all started from there. I mean to say, really, really happy. As I told you, these interviews are also motivating for me. Of course, it will be motivating for the students and the parents. So, how does your other batchmates who went to other countries, spent a lot, and how do they actually compare it with you guys, with you right now?
To be very honest, I had no that much contact with these guys who were
Okay.
abroad, but
You were
yeah,
busy.
but I know they are also working there. But it's a very few contacts I have. One who studied in that country, for example, my friends also studied in Germany, and they studied there, and they are also working there, also in a good
No,
position.
I'm not talking
So
about Schengen countries. That stories
yeah,
I know. All these, even today, brother, I feel really strange. Say, imagine, Alden, if your course was 1 year, what you would have learned, Alden? Tell me.
yeah. If I told in the beginning of the interview, you can recall that it was like just a learning phase, still not learned. Yeah, what was
Exactly.
as it took even half a semester or one semester for me to even step into what I'm studying for. Yeah.
That's what
So
audience, with the permission of Alden, I would like to say, as him being a successful person today, please, all I request is study masters for 2 years. You get nothing by learning for a master's in 1 year. This is what I would love to request. And for a technical program in my life, I have never sent a student abroad for a 1 year program. I'm happy, that way. So then, uh, what are your day-to-day activities at Robert Bosch? In short, what you do. Of course, you are into R&D. So
mhm. So
more about your.
basically, yeah, okay. To summarize what I do, it's mostly it's a we are directly supplying these our modules to the customers all over the world. And for this, what I do is basically we develop this device based on the customer's requirements, because always it depends on customer vehicles. If the engine capacity is higher, then we need to increase the flow rate of our injection of this AdBlue to reduce the emissions of NOx. So for this, the customer requirements are coming, and we need to do design, develop it, and also test it. Of course, I am only in development. I ask my design colleagues to perform some design change based on the requirements from customers, and then with this, I will do some kind of simulation with help of the simulation engineers, because we have different engineers specific for this. Also, you can have good communication and knowledge with also localites here and also foreign people here, and this is also which is one way of improving communication, and also you see also their perspective, their learnings, and then before we send it to the customers, we also test this module, and then we only we deliver it to customers. So I
Wonderful.
am involved in all these activities. Maybe I'm not performing all the activities, but it's being
You
like a
are involved
coordinating
in
role.
everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Just curious to know, when your client sends some data, this is what is their requirement, and you guys start working on it, and you are almost midway through. Do they suddenly change this data? Has it happened?
Yes, sometimes it happens because they are also in their development phases, for example. Yeah,
Okay.
so when
Quite
they also
common,
would like
right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's common because their thinking also comes very different. Okay, their customers want in different way, so they also try to improve it, and then they would implement on us. But for sure, we will try to optimize this. Yeah, because of course, every project is a huge investment behind it,
Yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
the design till the testing to deliver it to the customers via the logistics. All this chain, supply chain, is a big network. So for sure, every such changes which come in between, it's a big pain for everybody for sure. But for sure, we are as a suppliers to our customers, for sure we need to
You
fulfill their
somehow try
requirements.
to, yeah, you try to accommodate and get these things done.
Exactly, we try to convince them, or then we try to accommodate other way to
I wanted
fulfill
to
their
ask
needs.
because I could understand you getting the requirements and planning everything, and suddenly they want to change. Oh my god, it's a
Yeah,
it's a whole lot of work basically. So wonderful. So your parents should be very happy right now, and I guess they will also see this interview and talk through about your journey, because we have spoken from bachelor's till your current R&D responsibilities. Life has taken a complete turn. So last thing, don't you feel what you are right now, uh, the studies that you did in Czech Technical University, meaning in the Czech, formed a base for all your propulsion in your career?
definitely I agree with that, because the master education was really, as I mentioned, it was rough and tough in the beginning, and at the end it was, as I said, after those pains and rough time which I've encountered all these 2 years, has a big gain behind, and that's the one which set a base, and also the level of thinking was really has been improved, I would say, because
Yes.
most of the educations here are not like a book and paper written exam. It's more oral and a
Now
viva.
44 pages, right, brother?
No, no, no.
44 pages,
It's
right?
it's within a page. They hate to correct the pages, so they only
Yeah.
have exam for one sheet, and rest all are viva, and they would ask like a real life problem and the futures. It's not about the past history and past books. It's all about real life situation. Okay, if something happens on the road, what would the vehicle? How can we run this
I
vehicle without any issues? Exactly.
Alden, I used to say my students, you need only one ball pen to completely finish your masters, meaning all examinations. Compared to back home in India, you need one ball pen for every examination that you're going to write. That is the difference.
Yeah, I was in that mindset, and I bought many pens, and it's still available. Yeah.
Very funny. Super. So, second last question. What do you would like to say, a young student who's going to pass out school or pass out engineering, so passionate about automobile engineering, how they should get prepared for them to play a role in this particular industry, what they should study and what they should focus on?
Yeah, this automotive itself is a big world. Yeah, it's like when we say mechanical or automotive, everything is a huge network. So for this, as a youngsters who are going to come here, or even ones who are finished bachelors and who are willing to come here for masters, I would recommend for sure to have an interest. What is your interest in? Because even in automotive, you have design, you have production, and you have simulations, you have testing, you have system developments, and so on. It's also a big field. So it's really up to you to choose what really you're focusing on, and what is your will on, because many people are interested on designs which they are willing to model and so on. They use like Katia, Creo, and so on, some design
Yeah,
softwares. And for example, simulations, they use like Abacus, and also with fluid flow mechanics like computational fluid dynamics, CFD, those softwares are also used. So it's, as I mentioned, it's a huge network or huge area, but it's completely on individuals to at least learn basics of everything, at least basics, and then they can see which is suiting them more for them to go ahead. For example, if they really see a passion on design, they could switch on that. And if they see something which is related to system development, because it's also involving ITs inside, yeah, like using of MATLAB or some programmings inside to run the system for the mechanical function to work. So even system development is also people who are more thinking, okay, I need to switch to IT because mechanical is not well paid and so on. They can even switch to system development, which is even similar to IT come mechanical. Yeah, it's like a
yeah.
collaborating channel. So there
Love
are
it.
different channels. So I would say follow your passion and interest. For sure, you can get ideas and opinion from seniors or even from me. What I say, yeah, it can be just my experience, but you are probably not going to get the same experience. Maybe your experience might be much better or worse or whatever, but still, for every pain, there will be a gain. So follow your passion, interest, and I wish just the success in whatever you do.
Wonderful, wonderful. And also, there are, as you rightly pointed out, there are so many avenues inside mechanical engineering itself. So nowadays, people tend to imagine we should study only computer science. No, not at all. All courses have opportunities provided we have the knowledge. And that's why, Alden, we tell to students, believe in lack of skills, do not believe in lack of jobs. Do you accept that? Because Alden, by the way, audience, Alden got an employment in the midst of COVID. Please understand. It's not like today, okay, when the world was completely shut. Am I right, Alden? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Many people were being even fired, and during the time there was openings. Yeah, that was really
Exactly,
God's
exactly. See,
grace.
you have skills, you are wanted. You don't have skills, perish. Simple. Wonderful. Any last points you would like to say, Alden, before we wind up this really, really informative interview?
I mean, I think almost I told many of the things, yeah, which were really, yeah, basically, as I mentioned already in the interview, it was two proverbs, yeah, no pain, no gain, and what you sow, you reap. So basically, so follow your passion and just stick on it. And I wish all the success
Thank you so
youngsters
much.
to
And
shine.
also, thanks for, first of all, trusting us and giving us the opportunity to process your applications for abroad studies. And also, when we requested Alden for an interview, you were more than happy to do it. Thank you so much. We wish you all the very best. And maybe some few more years down the line, that interview will be solely on your R&D work. That will be part 2. Maybe after five,
Okay.
6 years. Don't worry, we will not trouble you very soon. Okay.
Okay, got it.
No, because see, it's good to document these technical stuffs and enlighten the audience. And also, when you retire, when you see all these videos, yes, yeah, I gave this interview 10 years before, 15 years before. It's nice. So,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Best wishes to you and your family, and convey our regards to your parents also. Thank you so
Thank you
much
so
for doing this
much.
interview for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So have a fantastic day then.
You
Thank
too.
you.
You too,
Bye.
Alden.